Alright. Okay. Let's go. First off, oh, get my mouse. There we are in the right. Oh no, beans. Drop that. Hold up 1 second, and then there we are. Just getting my screens all did, all set up. We've got a delicious bowl of Rice Krispies, cause it is so early in the morning. Well, it's actually not early in the morning. It's 9:15. It's just very, very early in the morning for someone who's not a morning person. But hey, here he is. What better way to start the day is there than playing some Naruto? Alright, so we're just going to get crack straight on into it. We are day 20. Goodness gracious. Day 20. Over 1,000 fights into it. I need to do some recalculations in terms of the expected finish date because the prediction at Lemo is that by December 2023 will be the finish date for this. But I need to recalculate and see if it's actually going to be sooner than that. Oh, lovely. Fabulous. Done. Delicious. So I have my crunching. If it's just all crunching on the mic, do apologise. But this is one of the very rare occasions, very few occasions where I actually have breakfast at breakfast time. And not like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What am I doing? Oh my goodness, can you go forward, please? Thank you very much. Oh, what? They timed that. They timed that so perfectly. Oh, come on. Right. Here we go. Lovely. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right, who we got next? Lee and Kaguya. Fabulous. Delicious. Lady, you do know you have substitution jutsu at your disposal. Oh, come on. It is Ultimate Jutsu Day or something. I think it is. And then lovely, gently. Oh yeah, so after last night's stream, which Stranger Paradise, it's one of those games that it just like, I love the gameplay. I absolutely love the gameplay. I love the combat. Love the gameplay, love the combat. Oh my goodness, I keep losing my blimmin'. Oh, keep losing my list. Anyway, yeah, love the gameplay, love the combat. Story so far, there is a mystery afoot, but they're going about it in a very odd way that obviously characters know more than they let on and all that jazz. But like the main character is just an absolute parody of protagonists, probably, but like it's just a bit, it's comedic sometimes, just how they've written him. But that all being said, it's just like it sticks with you. It's kind of like one of those games that, you know, you can get games similar to that are just utterly forgettable. Couldn't even tell you what half of the story is because I've just completely forgotten, other than like a couple of moments. But this isn't one of them. It's like you just can't help but keep playing because I'm actually loving it. And I mean, as a Final Fantasy fan, because I am all for references and Easter eggs and just little nods to stuff. It's like, it's my lifeblood. So, as a Final Fantasy fan, I'm absolutely digging. I am digging the references, the fact that all the levels are based off a game in the series, the like listening to the theme to see how they've remixed the theme from whatever place they've taken it from. I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. And who have we got next? Shisui and Minato. And it's just like, it's just some good stuff. It's just some good stuff. It got absolutely destroyed at launch. For, I suppose you could say, obvious reasons, but I love it. I love it. I will play that over any Call of Duty, Battlefield, insert war shooter game here. I will play that over it any day at all. And because I always do love a good mystery, so you know, whatever's going on, I am intrigued to see how what they're gonna say it is. Bam. Lovely. Oh, that's a nice cup of tea. You know when you get a cup of tea and you get it in that sweet spot between it's hot enough, like that it's like toasty. That's why I got a hot drink. But cold, but like not hot enough that you can like drink, like take a big gulp of it at once, and then it's just like it's just that sweet spot. I'm loving it. I've got it in that sweet spot. Oh yeah, and then Minato and Shisui. And I like this version of Minato only because I like it's a easier ultimate jutsu trigger for me to get off, and also it's nice and not overly prolonged. Like you can get some ultimate jutsus that just like take bloody forever, needlessly longer than they need to be. bam, and bam, and then... Lovely. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, now we've got Onoki and Obito, the masked man. Oh wait, no, it's Onoki first. Yes. Versus the masked man. Bam. Oh, and we found out yesterday. So here is some pro tips that may or may not be useful for you, or you may not be interested in. But hey, if you are, then here's some pro tips, and you probably already knew it anyway. But here we go. Because if you're the kind of person that you would find interested in it, then you probably already know. But anyway, fireplaces. So we found out yesterday. So we went shopping. We bought some we bought a bucket full of like the ash that builds up in the fireplace, and like a little scoop. And then so the boy, he was taking all the ash out, and there was like heaps in there, absolutely heaps in there, and he's like, what? And then so we're gonna we pretty much filled up the whole bucket with ash, but then he's like, okay, well, what do I do with it now? So we googled. I had a little bit of the Google box. To see what you do with ash. So, two things. One is, in your fireplace, it is recommended by the, I want to say it's the American Federation of Fireplace People, but whatever does fireplaces, it's recommended to leave at least 1 inch layer of ash at the bottom of your fireplace, because it insulates the coals, and it actually helps your fire burn better and hotter. So you don't want to take all of the ash out, you just want to take most of it out. And then, as it gets more than an inch, then you can just scoop some off the top, but generally you want to actually leave some in. Secondly, what do you do with your ash? So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can actually do with your ash. So one is, people make soap out of it. Like, people actually make soap out of wood ash. And I'm like, that's kind of genius, and I wonder if it would actually work, but I'm assuming that it's not just the ash. You'd probably have to put in like 50 other things. But I might even try it out to see if I can make some homemade soap, and then that's one less thing that we've got to buy. Second is it actually acts as a repellent for slugs and snails in the garden. So if you've got a slug and snail problem, just sprinkle that ash over there. That ash got your back. And then there's that. It works great in compost. It works great in compost. And there was another thing as well. It wasn't like a fertilizer, it was something else. Have I got my phone on me? Yes, I do. Yeah, it was something else that it did as well. Right. Can I find it in my searches from yesterday? Where to put fireplace ash was one of my searches yesterday. Oh yeah, so add it to your compost. Compost is naturally acidic, so wood ash is a great addition. That was from the little excerpt before you actually get to the thingy bob. Lightly sprinkle a layer of ash as you build up green and brown layers. And then we've got Onoki and Utakata. Be careful to just sprinkle it though. Too much will ruin it. There we are. You can use it to de-ice instead of salt. So wood ash contains potassium salts, which can be used to de-ice pathways in cold weather. Although watch the runoff, obviously. Oh, come on. Yeah, nice try with your bubbles, mate. Oh, actually, no. The bubbles actually do damage. That timing failed. There we go. Yeah, so you fight algae. So 1 tablespoon of wood ash for every 4,000 liters of water. Oh my goodness. And a pond full of algae can help aquatic plants compete with it. Use the ashes to clean. Ooh. Is the glass front of your fireplace sooty? Dip a damp cloth into the ashes, then wipe the glass to get off the stubborn spot. Now, I'm assuming that that's just for the fireplace. You don't actually start washing your dishes with it. That might produce different results. Feed your tomatoes. Tomatoes love calcium. U.S. organic gardening author and grower Mike McGrath. That seems like a bit of a I don't want to say an advertisement, but that felt very descriptive. That feels like an advertisement anyway. Place a 1/4 of a cup in the hole where he plants a tomato. Oh, and also, just as a shout out, hi Lottie, who's watching. Glad to I don't even know how to do a shout out properly, but anyway, shout out to Lottie who'll be watching. I hope you're having a fabulous morning. It's 9 o'clock. Wait, no, it's not even 9 o'clock. It's 9:30, which is probably about an hour and a half too early for me normally, but hey, I don't want to waste the whole day. Oh my goodness. There we go. And then, right now I've got to... Oh, come on. There we are. And... right now. Oh, come on. Right now. Getting up. And then now. There we go. Thank you. Alright. So yes, you can feed your tomatoes fireplace ashes. Clean your fireplace with it and make soap. Wood ash was traditionally used to make lye, then mixed with animal fat and boiled to make soap. Use ash from hardwoods only. Interesting. There you go. If you ever come to my house, you'll be like, "What's the hell is this soap made out of?" And I'm like, "It's my fireplace ash from about 3 weeks ago." Alright, next we got Naruto Kurama and Sakura. Oh, great. And I've just noticed streams disconnected. Okay, I think we're back on for some reason, and we've noticed it. When have we noticed it? We've noticed it every now and then. Okay, we're back on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, we've noticed, and I don't know how I need to see if there's a way to fix it. I have noticed that our internet just randomly just cuts out all of a sudden. Like, it will cut out for maybe like 2 seconds, and then it'll jump back. It happened last night, like after the stream last night it happened. And it happened on Friday night stream, randomly. You see, like, just cuts out for a second, and then just, it's weird. I don't know what's going on. And it might just be a product of, because we are technically out in the middle of nowhere. I say in the middle of nowhere, we're not in the middle of nowhere, we're semi in a town, but we're on the outskirts of a town. So I'm just wondering, hoping, that it's just, it's not a problem that's we're gonna constantly get. Because especially too, actually, if we're gonna be like working from home for some times, if we're gonna be working from home, then and I'm in a Teams call with someone, and suddenly, I've just disappear, and it'll be an important one as well, I reckon. Oh goodness, I'm gonna get absolutely blasted from my bosses. Bam. Alright. Okay, who we've got next? Kushina and Hansa, so... And then after these two, I'll update the fights remaining. Oh, okay, and then, I mean, it's probably not really a problem at all, but just odd. So we went to Mitre 10, which for those outside of New Zealand is it's like a hardware store. I'm trying to even think about what a hardware store elsewhere is. It's just a hardware store. One of the big two hardware stores anyway. And we were there, and we were looking around for fire pokers, just so you could go whoosh in the fire. And so we're like looking around. We look in the. Where do we look? We look in the the barbecue and outdoor fireplace section, and so we find like the fire shovels. And there's like oh my god, there's so many fire shovels. And then the lady walks up, she's like, oh, no, can we help you? And like one of those rare occasions, or those few occasions where you're actually glad that a shop person's walked over to you, because then you can ask them where the fire pokers are. So I'm like, yo, have you got any fire poker thingies? I didn't say thingies, but unless I actually did. There's a lot of times where I say things and I don't even realise I've said it. And then Mark's like, why'd you say that? And I'm like, say what? He's like, that thing. And I'm like, no, I didn't. He's like, yeah, you did. I'm like, anyway. Sidetracked. But yeah, so I was like, hey, where's the fire poker? She's like, unfortunately, at the start of winter, we completely sold out of them, and I think it was something like they only got in the one. Oh my goodness, lady, can you stop? Yeah, it was something like they only bought in the one line of the fire pokers, or something, and then for some, yeah, they only bought the one line in of the fire pokers, and it just completely sold out, and they've never restocked. So, like, yeah, and then she's like, to TBH, you'll probably be hard pressed to find a fire poker at the moment, because everyone seems to want fire pokers for some reason. And I'm like, wouldn't fire pokers be one of those purchases that you make once, and you don't really have to buy it again, at least for like, unless you lost your fire poker or it died. But I mean, you've got a solid steel pole. It's not exactly going to disintegrate in your hands, is it? So I'm like, was there fire? Has the coof caused another fire poker shortage as well, alongside the absolute mayhem that it's caused everywhere else? I'm like, I just want a fire poker, lady. Screw it, just tell me where the metal poles are and I'll just have that instead. Alright. Just did Hanzo, didn't I? Yes, and now, sound's going to cut out quickly, but where are we with 46? Haha, and back in it. Alright, so now we've got Kabuto, ugh, ick, and young Sasuke. And then because we're playing as Kabuto, we're not allowed to do any ultimate jutsus because he doesn't deserve the satisfaction. And I'm happy with him getting hit by like 3 ultimate jutsus. Don't care if I'm literally on the last HP, the last sliver of my health bar. Don't care. I don't even care if I lose, to be honest. He doesn't deserve wins, really. He can do jutsus, but meh, I'm not gonna go out of my way to do them. Oh, and the other thing that we found, which is very interesting, I've never actually counted it before, but it's kind of smart in a way, but kind of like, no, it is just smart. We were at the warehouse yesterday, and we're just buying a whole bunch of stuff for the house, and we bought these 2 like wicker baskets for the bathroom. So one for all our dirty washing, and the other for like empty toilet rolls and all that sort of thing. So we bought those. We're at the self checkouts, scanning in. Because we also got like some bath mats and some flower containers for the cupboard and all that sort of jazz. And then then I'm there with the little like scanny thing because it feels amazing to like pull the thing out and start like scanning things. It's anyway the little things in life, but yeah. So scanning that, and then of course I'm not looking at the screen. So when I scan the small wicker basket, beep, all goes through fine. And then I'm trying to scan the big one, and then it's like the scanning thing's not clicking. I'm like, why is this broken? And then I start look at the screen, and then it was like needs after I'd scanned the little wicker basket, it's like needs staff authentication or something. And I'm like, what? But we're not buying alcohol. Like, what? And so the lady comes over, and I'm just like, it says that. She's like, oh yeah, no. So, she thought we had scanned the big one, but we'd actually just scanned the small one. But basically, what they've done now is for any kind of like big baskets or anything like that that could potentially have a lid over it, they actually now prompt the staff to go over to complete the transaction because they've had so many instances of people putting things in the baskets and put the lid over the top, going through the self-serve where they're less likely to get checked, or rather where they don't have to get checked to scan the item. Yeah, and they just put all the stuff in there and then just walk out. I mean, it's right in the middle of a shopping centre, so good luck trying to steal something. I mean, you've got to walk past like 100 people. It's not as if you can gap it straight out of the store. But anyway, digress. Yeah, so for any kind of basket items, we scan. I'm like, so anyways, so she cleared the item, and then I'm just like, we've actually got another one to scan too. She's like, oh no, all good. And yeah, scanned it, and the exact same thing happened. So I'm like, interesting. Oh, what? Right. Oh, come on. No, beans. I used my last one. Okay. Right, need to wait for his. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, because it's like, because when I think about it, I'm like, there would actually be so many ways to steal things. So like one is, and I'm not endorsing it at all. Like these techniques are what I reckon, or what I know people do. So it's not as if I'm like I'm spilling the secrets of it. But so like at the supermarket, checkouts, especially, so this is mostly actually all like anything self-serve. But anyway, yeah, self-serve is kind of like the theme. So one is, when it comes to like fruits and vegetables, unless it's like a like unless the price is per thing of whatever, so like each cucumber is $1.20. It's actually not $1.20, it's more like $3 now. But anyway, this doesn't work so much, but it's with like, so let's say you've got apples. There are like 20 varieties of apples with a varying range of prices. So all you'd have to do is you get your fancy apples, you know, your $6 a kg apples. Don't even know if those exist, but anyway, examples. And then when you're at your thing, you put the thing on the scale, and then you just tap the variety of apple on the screen. That's the cheap one. I mean, the checkout itself isn't checking that the variety of apple matches. All it's checking is that all it's checking is the weight of it. Cover cloak and Onoki again. Yeah, it's just checking the weight of it. So you now can get you can now get a expensive variety of apple for the price of the cheapest one. But because they've got people kind of like supervising the checkouts, they will be watching those people like an absolute hawk. And they've kind of also been trained to know, like, to notice that sort of thing. Because very regularly, if you're doing it honestly, you won't be pressing, like, you'll actually be hunting for your variety of apple to make sure you're picking the right one. So you will not be like, chuck the apples on the scales, bam, bam, done. You'll be like, bam, done. So they'll be looking if you're just like breezing through. Obviously, you know, you could be one of those people that just knows exactly what you do and you buy the same thing every day, so you know exactly where everything is. But yeah, so the checkout people are trained to notice all these sorts of things. And as I said earlier, I do not condone or endorse any of it as well. Like, I don't care at all what your circumstances are. You be honest, and not steal always. And yeah, so, but anyway, so that's that. Also, my dad has picked up a lot of little sneaky things that people do at petrol stations as well, with the self-serve ones. So what they'll do is, so like, let's say they come in on petrol pump and they like pull up at petrol pump number one, and then they'll come in and say, oh hey, can I please get $20 on petrol, can I get $20 on petrol pump number 2? Because I think it's I can't remember if it's like self-service and checkout as well, I think. Oh yes, no, that's right. They go, because what happens is the petrol pump people, or the petrol station people, they got like a little button where they kind of activate that particular pump. Oh wow, Carbuto, you took your bloody hood off. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so they like press a button and it activates the pump. Like, you can't use the petrol before they've done that. Anyway, so they'll be like, oh hey, can I get like $20 on number 2? No, can I get $20 on number 2? And you'll be like, sure. I'm trying to remember what the order is. Essentially, what they do is they actually get and they put the money on, like the prepay amount, on another petrol pump, and then what they do is then they go back to theirs. You'll look, and you'll beep the thingy, and then they'll actually walk to their car from, and then you'll activate number one, and then because it's not a prepaid amount, they can fill up however much they want. And then they'll come back in, they'll be like, what, I asked for this, I asked for $20, and now I filled up my car with 100. Like, what is, I demand a refund, I demand this. And they're basically, and because at the end of the day, there's nothing really you can do, because, like, essentially they paid you, they could just say, well, I paid you the $20 and you just activated the wrong pump. You just chucked it on the wrong pump. Something like that. I can't get in terms of like what they say when they come up, it's a bit foggy. But anyway, yeah, so, and then the poor guy on the other pump's like, I could only fill up $20. Like, what is this? Yeah, so it's all that sort of thing. But yeah, when it comes to petrol stations, there are like thousands of tricks people use, just because. Oh, come on. Right, there we go. Got him. Very touchy, young Lee. Then we've got Sasuke Kage and Tobirama after this one. Lovely. Oh, and after putting in last night's fights, we're at 11.22% done. So we were like a whole percent up from the day before. Who did I just face? Young Lee. Losing my marbles again. And who was I just playing as? Touchy, that's it. Bam. One thing I've always thought about, so, because I almost like, part of me wants to do it, but then I don't know if it's actually going to work, is, so I'm thinking about, Lee has, he's got those weights in his socks. I want to say socks, leg warmers. I think they're leg warmers. So he has those weights in there, so he's training all the time with the weights on, and that's why when he takes them off, he can go like speed of light sort of thing. I've always been thinking, and because I know that people do a lot of people do train with the like leg or ankle and I suppose wrist weights as well. And I'm just thinking, should I if I just lived my life with my ankle and wrist weights on, would I actually get stronger? Or if I then took them off, would my body be so used to having them on that suddenly I'm now throwing myself off balance? Because I'm kicking and I'm waiting for the resist. I'm waiting to have to try harder, but I'm not. And then I just flip myself over when I kick or when I punch or anything like that. I'm thinking or would it be a case of I'm actually now strongest woman in the world kind of thing? I'm always curious. I'm curious about these things. Tobirama. Because it kind of seems like if it is a case of you're just now just like super amazing at kicking and punching, like why didn't like everyone just put ankle and wrist weights on, and you just slowly just increase the kgs as it gets easier and easier. Bam. Oh, did I get him? I got him. Alright. Genre. Oh, my back. Oh my goodness. I'm an old lady. Okay, then we got Togurama. And then Sasuke. Oh, excuse me. I wasn't meant to do that. Just that one, please. Thank you. Hey. Right, got him now, and then I just need to. Just need it, and then come in. Oh, come on. And then, here we go, got him. Okay. Now got Kakashi. Now I want to do that one, and I do like the lightning blade speed. That one, and who else? Madara. Reanimation. Now, did they fight like this? Can't remember. They did quite, but it would be there. Just trying to remember the order of events. There's so many fights, all with the same people in different forms. I'm just trying to remember. Trying to remember which one's where. Hey. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my, can you not? Bruh. Thank you. Lovely. Right, he'll do a substitution one more time. Oh no. Okay, right, now I can get him. Thank you. One thing I've always, and that's another thing, and I know it's anime, so it's probably not, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Well, not everything with a grain of salt, it's a wrong term. Suspension of disbelief. Because obviously you've got eye transplants happening every 10 bloody seconds. You know, Madara puts Itachi's eyes in Sasuke. We've got eyes going into Kakashi. We've got eyes flipping here, there, and everywhere. I'm assuming eye transplants quite medically involved. One would think that, screw it, is everyone here an absolute medical genius or something? Did Madara, like, did he just secretly pass medical school, that's what I'm trying to say, or just have all of the, like, eye surgical tools just chilling? Because isn't it him that's got all of the, like, there's the bit where he's got, like, all the jars of all the Sharingan, and he just got, like, just eyes on tap. Yeah, but he just must be an absolute, secret medical ninja, because he's just doing eye operations, connecting nerves and optic nerves and everything, just like the back of his hand. Strength is not will, but a phenomenon caused by physical objects. It sounded too scientific to be cool. Alright, so now we got Konohamaru and young Kiba. Right, see if anything special happens. Oops. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, no, got him. Never mind. It's just so odd that it's like a 13-year-old kid doing this. It's just so weird. It's just so gross. I say gross. No, it is gross. Of course, it's Japan. So what can you do? Kiba, why is your melee damage so awful? Bam. Right, and I think the Majutsu should finish it. Yes, got him. Alright. Naruto Rasen, e.g. this guy, and we'll give him a warrior costume, why not? And who's he facing? Second Tsuchikage. I feel like that amount of katana is so impractical. You'll just be getting yourself tangled around each other every 10 seconds. Bam. Alright, and then lovely. Lovely jubbly. Bam. I keep getting like a second off every time with the bam. Alright, then do the switcheroo. Was I just facing that? What if I think about it, only like just over a month to go now, and God of War Ragnarok comes out. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. And the problem is when you're living with someone who is also a huge fan of games, and especially ones that you also like, it's going to be a bit of a I think we've made the compromise that because God of War is definitely like, out of all of us, it's his thing far more than mine. So he essentially gets first dibs on it. He gets first dibs on playing it. So I can only really play it when he's not, or I only play it when he's finished, because he's gonna be wanting to play that every waking hour of the day. So I have to like wait for him on the weekends to fall asleep early if he ever does, and then I can jump on and play it. And I probably, because I do want to do it on stream if possible. But I think to do that, it will kind of probably have to wait till he's finished with it. Because otherwise I would be playing it at hours where he would be active, and he'll be playing it every waking hour that he can. So God of War on stream will be coming, but just a good several weeks after its release, and at the end of September, going on a 2-week holiday, so it's probably going to be like early October, mid-October, that I'll actually get around to playing it on stream. But that's alright. It's not as if I haven't got countless other games to tide me over until then. That's the beauty of playing so many games, is that, see, like, because I've got a console for everything. I've got a console for every, like, you know, if he's on the PlayStation, that's fine. I'll just chuck on the Xbox or the PC. And, you know, if we're traveling, don't bother. It doesn't matter. I've got the Switch or the 2DS so I can still play games even that. So that's the beauty of it. And also I've got games for everything as well. So if I can't play this game, then I've got like 10 others on the go that I can just hop on. So it's not going to be too much of a hassle, but I'm just going to be itching to play it all the time. And I can't. Who was I just before? And I think after this one. I'll update the list because we've got 28. 9928. Yeah, so we kind of have to, like, with the games that come out, we've kind of got to, if it's games that we both want to play, we have to decide who is the bigger fan of it, or who's the most excited, who's more excited, or who does it kind of like belong to, and that's who gets to play it first. So God of War be the boy, God of War be the boy, Final Fantasy 16 will be me, Starfield, undecided, but I'm gonna say that I'm more excited for it. So it'll probably be me, possibly, and that'll be one I play on stream as well. Final Fantasy 16, me, Breath of the Wild 2 is undoubtedly me. Yeah, Indie Final Fantasy will be me. There's another game that's coming out soon that's more him. Can't think of what it is. Right. Oh yeah, so okay, sound will cut out, but we're down to 8. Done, and done. Alright, so now we've got Niji and who? Oh, Kabuto, ugh. Ick. Because next year is just going to be like the year for games. It's going to be like, oh, it's just going to be so good. It's going to be like Final Fantasy 16, Crisis Core Reunion, Dragon Age 4, Starfield, Breath of the Wild 2, like Final Fantasy, oh, just everything. Just everything. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And then I'm hoping, I think it's a bit of a dream, but it'd be amazing if it was, the Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. If that was next year, my heart would absolutely explode. Because, oh my goodness, oh my good golly aunt, am I so excited for that. Like, if Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is anything like remake, oh my god. Oh my god, oh, I'm just so excited. Oh, like, every time I start thinking about what they did with 7 Remake, I'm like, my heart like just goes into overdrive, and I start like having breathing problems because I'm just like so like amped over it. Honestly, I could like when I played it and finished it, the poor boy, he had to listen for me like just talking about it for hours, and he's got like no idea about anything. Because the thing is too, is that he hasn't played the original, but he's kind of like, but he doesn't want me spoiling it either. Although I have spoiled like the big plot point that happens in the original. I have spoiled that, and just why certain characters are significant. So he has had that spoiled, unfortunately. Probably it is more so it's my fault really, just because I needed to talk to him about it. I'm like, I just have to, because I need to talk about what they've done with remake, and I can't do that. Like, can't tell you the significance of the ending if you don't know this. But anyway, what's it? Yeah, so I'll just talk about it for hours, and I can talk about it for hours. Like, if anyone says, "Oh, hey, do you want to talk about like Final Fantasy 7 Remake?" Like, just chat about it and discuss. I'm like, pull up a chair and a cup of tea, cause girl, we can do this for hours. I can go for hours. like what you want to know. Naruto Kurama again, and young Kakashi. And because the thing is too is that the Square Enix have a very unique challenge. I'm not gonna say problem. I'll say a challenge, in that obviously they want everyone, you know, to play and buy their game. But if they made the game solely for fans of Final Fantasy VII and no one else, and it was very like, it was, I don't want to like, I want to use the term barrier to entry correctly, but I don't think I'm going to be using it correctly in this context. So I'll just say, you know, they don't want that you have to have played the first one to even have a remotely a semblance of enjoyment of this one. They want to kind of have it open enough and easy enough to understand that people who haven't played the original will still, you know, they're like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. There'll be stuff that happens that they're like, I get the sense that this is far more important than I am currently aware of, but you know, that's what happens with that kind of game. But yeah, so they've got a very unique challenge in this next one, and that they're going to be doing things with the story that, I mean, fans are like, I've got no idea what they're planning on doing, because they've left it so open that it's just like, whoa. But then at the same time, they can't have it. So they'll have it different. So if you haven't played the original, then you won't know what's different. You won't know what's different and what they've done differently. So I suppose you'll just think that there's just normal stuff going on. As if it's the problem. The thing would be if throughout the entire game, like, weird stuff is happening and they're talking about events that they don't actually show in the game. They talk about, oh, but back then when we did this and we did this, or I don't know, just not explaining it very well. But yeah, essentially they need to keep it open enough that someone who's only played remake, hasn't played the original, only played remake, and they haven't seen or watched anything from the compilation either. So they haven't watched Advent Children, haven't played the original Crisis Core, haven't heard a dirge of Cerberus. I mean, most people tend to block that game out from their memories, but I mean, it is part of the canon, so, you know, it is part of it. You know, all of that sort of thing. Before Crisis, and although that was a mobile game, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, you know, so you don't want it to have it that if they've only played, you want it that if they've only ever played remake, it's still following a through line from that you can be like, oh yeah, because that happened in that game, and not confusing them even further. But they also don't want to keep it so insanely different and whatever that fans of the original are just like, what is this? Like, what is this? This is stupid. I hate what they've done with it, which I'm sure that they'll get that regardless. You know, there will always be people who don't like the direction that they've taken. I, for one, love it. I, for one, think it's fantastic. I do feel for the people who got to the end of remake and were like, you know, what the hell is going on in this final fight? Like, what is this? But that's with any JRPG. You know, you get to the end and you're practically, you know, you got the final boss who you think is the final boss, and then the actual final boss is, I mean, you're going from 0 to 100. You're going from fighting a dude to fighting God, you know, or like that world's equivalent of God, practically. Or a godlike being. Yes, the end of Remake is wild. And then just those like last cutscenes. The only scene that wouldn't make sense to people is what happens with a particular character. And because I want to be really careful, I don't want to spoil anything, because it's just one of those things that you just don't want to spoil it, because it's just, I want people to have the same experience that I did. So I'm not going to say like certain characters' names, and I'm not going to say certain events, because it's just, I just want people to experience the magic. Like I've got a mate who he was waiting for it to come out on PC, and so it did come out on PC, and you know, as much as he can, you know, he perfectly can just jump straight into it, because he hasn't played the original, and I'm just like, I want him to have the full experience. Like, I want him to have the experience I had. So I'm like, play the original and just read up on what happens on the compilation stuff. Like, trust me, you will be ever the more grateful for it. You will be glad that you did. Oh yay, cool. Oh, I could just go on for that. I could just go on about that game for so long, for hours. I'm just like, should I just hijack this and just turn it into a big Final Fantasy VII Remake discussion? I'm so like, I will hijack anything and turn it into a Final Fantasy VII Remake discussion. Like, oh, it's so good. It's just so good. It's like for so long, you know, it gets announced at E3 2015, goes silent. Everyone loses their minds first off. Then it goes silent for like 4 years, because it wasn't shown again until E3 2019, I believe. Yeah, and that's when they showed the first trailer for it. And everyone lost their minds again. And then 2020, they showed more stuff, gameplay, and I just remember watching the gameplay presentation. I'm like, oh, yes, oh yes, oh yeah. And then people were, because then there was the news in like 2019 or something. No, 2018, I believe it was. 2018 or like start of 2019, when there were reports that they were hiring the scenario. They were still writing the scenario, and in a game, like in game development, the scenario is kind of like one of the first steps that you do. So everyone was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and it was just people's faith started to falter a little bit, because they were like, oh, they haven't even gotten halfway through. Like, there's no hope that this is going to be any amount of good. It's going to be a Kingdom Hearts situation where it starts off strong and then stumbles at the last hurdle, kind of thing. At least in the development of this, rather than the series as a whole. But yeah, and then it comes out, and my god, was like, people like, oh, Square Enix knows what they're doing, and they're doing it well. Like, they've had this, because apparently they've had the story of Remake. They've had the story that they're telling now. They've had it planned out for like since the mid 2000s. They're like, we've wanted to tell the story for so long, but I think for like tech reasons, or just the technology at the time until then, has just never given them what they wanted to, in terms of being like how they tell the story. But now, you know, that I think it's Unreal Engine 5. They're doing Unreal Engine. I'm pretty sure they are. I wanted to say they are. They're doing it somehow anyway. Like they're now able to tell the story that they want, how they want it, have it look the way they want it, and my god, is it just so good. And I have just full faith that it's not going to be a Kingdom Hearts situation where the third one, whatever it's called, it'll be re-something. And I was thinking, is it going to be a reunion? But no, because they've already used reunion for the Crisis Core redo. So it can't be that. Kushina and young Naruto. Ooh. Do it in the village. Yeah, full faith that it's not going to be a Kingdom Hearts situation where the third one just gets so overly convoluted then it becomes an absolute mess. It will be a joyous, momentous occasion, and I think the full, true end of any stories to do with Final Fantasy VII. I believe there'll be nothing else they'll do with it, like in terms of what happens afterwards. They'll do like, because I know in Ever Crisis, so I think it's a mobile game, and what they're doing is they're like releasing like chapters, and I want to say it's like prequels and backstories and something, because they're showing like in one of the episodes they're going to have like Sephiroth's backstory, like when he's like a teen and stuff. Yeah, so that they can do stuff with Ever Crisis, I guess. They want that to be ongoing, but I think beyond what happens next, they're not gonna do anything beyond. It's just gonna be the perfect like culmination of everything. I don't know. Some people were. I was watching some guys talk about it. I think Maximilian Dude and the Easy Allies, when they were talking recently about. Oh, I think they were talking about the Rebirth trailer. And they're like, wouldn't it be great at the end of the third one, credits roll and everything, and then it suddenly like fades to Tidus, or like Tidus swimming out of the water or something at Besaid Island, or it'll be something like that ties now into Final Fantasy X-3, because there's the fan theory, which I think's been disproved, or like Square Enix said, about the connection between 10 and Spira and the Gaia, I think the planet of Seven is, that Shinra from Final Fantasy X-2 talks about getting a harvesting the energies of the planet, Firefly's Farplane, for energy, like a renewable energy source. Of course, then the Shinra Electric Company in 7 is using the life energy of the planet for an energy source. So yeah, and they reckon that like Shinra's ancestors travelled over to the planet that Seven's from, and yeah, his descendants started the Shinra Electric Company in memory of their great ancestor Shinra, who came up with the idea. Something like that. But yeah, so I think it started off as a fan theory. They did have a little nod in 7 Remake to that. They had like when you're going through the Shinra building, they had a little I want to say an Easter egg, because I think some people are of the mind that they did it there just as a nod, not as anything, not making a statement on anything. But they had like a picture of all the Shinra founders or something, and they had a guy with a mask there, looked exactly like Shinra's from 10-2. I was like, oh my god, hashtag confirmed. But yeah, so wouldn't it be a goof if they like went full hog and connected 7 and 10 like for real. But no, they wouldn't, I think. 10's kind of like a story that a lot of people want to leave untouched, or believe is best untouched. Because everyone, like a lot of people didn't like what they did with 10 too. I didn't mind it so much. Yeah, and they just say that's a story best left unfinished. Or no, actually no, it's not even unfinished. It is finished. They released like the audio book. I think it was an audio book. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like Oren's daughter and someone else doing something, and then it was like weird because it was like really weird. Like Tidus kicks a ball on a beach and it is actually a bomb, and then he just blows up, and then Yuna like resummons him back or something. It was weird. Like, it was weird, but it was just like, okay, right, 10 stories finished. You don't need to do anything beyond that. Thanks, guys. Just leave. Leave it alone. I just want to like finish with the ultimate juice, just see how mangled the finishing image is, because it is a mangled finishing image. But then if it's a screenshot from the anime, I mean, it's probably in like a super high energy action scene where the animators just like shortcutted their way through the drawing of it. Yeah, what's up with that hand? It's like his forearm is like 2 meters long and his little stubby hand at the end of it. It's alright, I forgive them. Ino and second Misu. I'm pretty sure I've done this fight. I feel like I've already done this fight. Maybe not. Alright. Bam. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now there's one little, I was thinking, there was one little touch, and I can't remember which game it was. I want to say it was Storm 3. I believe it was Storm 3. There's a little touch that up in the corner next to that little profile image was a, I think it was, they had like a little, like the village symbol for whatever character it was, to like show what village they came from. And I'm like, that's just a little touch that I like, because especially for characters that like it's not necessarily immediately obvious, so like Utakata and like, or essentially all the Jinchuriki. Like Utakata he's from Kirigakure or Mist Village, I'm pretty sure, but it's like it's not necessarily obvious that he is. And so like that sort of thing would be like just as a little educational tool as well as just a detail. Alright, so now we've got Nagato and Hashirama. Yes. Oh yeah, the sun's sort of coming out. Like yesterday I was being absolutely miserable in terms of the weather. It was raining hardcore last night. The garden and the driveway started flooding again. Oh my goodness gracious. But I think the weather's clearing now. I mean, I'm an inside person anyway, so rain or shine, don't bother me. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. And then we've got Hashirama. I thought it was going to be one of the ones that just follows him the whole way through. Thank you for running into that, sir. Bam. Oh, I thought that was going to get him. That's okay. Got him with the shuriken anyway. Alright, so now we've got Naruto Kurama again. Oh my goodness. And young Hinata. Oh, come on. There we go. Thank you. Bam. And Kurama. Right now, I've just got to make sure that I'm not. Come on. Right, there we are. It's not going to come, but that's fine. Lovely. Jubbly. Could have gone faster, but that's fine. Right, Sasuke Rinnegan, and don't want that one. And then Utakata again. Believe? Yes. Because he's stationary, this is going to be a really easy one to get him on. I wonder if he doesn't have the glowy eyes, because that's an ultimate that it's kind of like not this version's default. So I'm pretty sure in the other ones where that's his ultimate, which I think is the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan one, his eyes glow, and I could be very, very wrong on that. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, God, almost. And now, bam. Guardian. Alright. And then we ain't no bubble jutsu people over here. Thank you. I'll just get that ultimate out of the way. I still don't understand why it's called freight bubbles. Maybe it's just a translation error? Almost got him. Right. And then, bam. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right, prefer Utakatha to adult Tintin. Adult Tintin can go, not die, but can just go into reserves. Go Tandem Paper Balm. And Tubirama and May. Ever since I discovered that she's only like supposed to be like early 30s, I mean it still doesn't make her thirst over Sasuke any like better, but at least it's more hashtag socially acceptable than if she was like 45. Lovely. Ooh, that looks cool. Alright. That was a cool finishing shot that someone's like, oh yeah, that's gonna look sick. Oh, and also, because last time, I remember when I was fighting as Kimimaro, and I'm like, I swear to God, I haven't played as him before, and then I thought that when in the matchup right at the start between Sakura and Kimimaro, I had this weird feeling that I hadn't actually played as him. I had just done Sakura and then just switched gone straight to the next one. I watched back, and actually, no, I had actually played as him, and I must have just completely forgotten that I had. But then again, I think that night my brain was just absolutely fried. From the week before. So I was like mixing up matchups and forgetting 10 things like 10 seconds after they've started or 10 seconds after they've happened. So I think it was just one of those days. Bam. Alright, we got Asuma and B. I think I'll just get the ultimate. Lovely. Lovely. Jubbly. Yeah, I think I prefer the version of B without Samehada. Fabulous. Ugh. My back. Oh my goodness. My ancient 50-year-old back. Oh, lovely. Alright. Next we got Obito Jinchuriki. Got it down as Sage, and it's not Sage. And second Mizukage. Ow, now my hand's cramping up. Oh goodness, I'm falling apart. That sword's just, I'm sorry, that sword's just impractical. Unless you were flying, that would just be extremely, like I say, impractical to use. Lovely. Jubbly. Right, we've got second Mizukage, and we've got my water dragon, this. Alright, we've got a law fight after this one. Then after the next one, we'll be down to 9,900. I still think you need eyebrows, sir. Oh, come on. Well, here we are, Mr. Impractical with the sword. Oh, so as he's fighting, it doesn't even, like, hit him. Or, like, it doesn't stagger him as he gets hit. Interesting. Why is it not hitting him? Why is it not doing any damage to him? That's weird. Didn't notice that. But then I also noticed that his awakening mode isn't actually as long. Huh. So he actually becomes temporarily invulnerable to ranged attacks. If I understood what just happened there correctly. Interesting. Interesting. Another thing that I've discovered. Alright. Next one is, we got Kakashi. And Obito. And we'll chuck them in the only place that they can go. Oh, the place that only them can go to. Normally. I am thinking though, because if Kamui takes peeps to this place, think of all the times that it's been used to like dismember things. Like I think, didn't Kakashi use it to dismember the wing of one of Deidara's dragons and something? I'm pretty sure that like they'll just chill, they'll just go over here. Like Obito comes over here, is like, what the hell's this? Because they share. I'm assuming the way it works is that they share the same space. No, they do share the same space, but like, do things just disappear? Like, do things just stay there forever? Yeah, so old Obito will be using it to, like, use it for something, you'll travel there. And then there's just, like, this giant wing there all of a sudden, or just, like, a random arm. He's like, oh my, Kakashi's at it again. Just dismembering things left, right, and centre. And then do they just, like, kick it off the edge of that block, or like, to get rid of it? Oh, beans. Oh, that's alright. Just force of habit. Lovely. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Bam. Just disintegrated. Okay. Now, sound's going to cut out, but we are down to 9,900. Okay. Cool. So now we carry on. Let's just blitz on through. So now we've got Rin and Young Lee. Oh, come on. Bruh. Bruh. There we go. Thank you. I hate playing as her. Alright. Oh, come on. now. Nope. Fabulous. Alright. Next fight. A second Mizukage again. Oh my goodness. And Zabuza. Zabuza mochi. Oh, that would be a pun. Draw him as a mochi ice cream. Oh, motherfucking. Yes. Delightful. Screw it. I'm just gonna end it now. Lovely. Zabuza and who was I just playing as? Second Mizukage. Be interesting to see, because I'm thinking towards the end of this, looking at the sheet, there's going to be certain characters that I just have not played, like, very much at all. And that's just, like, just the nature of randomness. Is there'll just be certain characters that I've still got, like, to do 30 fights with, and others that I've just completely, like, done. Don't need to play as any further. So that will be interesting to see. But actually no, because of the nature of how I'm doing it as well. Yeah, the nature of how I'm doing it, there'll be, yes, certain characters that will just, like, in pairs of 2 as well, I think. They will be in pairs of 2. Oh, come on. Bruh. Right now, get him. Oh, screw it. I'm gonna be here for like 10 seconds. No, sorry, not 10 seconds, 10 minutes. Unless... never mind. Never mind. Okay, we've got Naruto, Sage. Now I've got to make sure I'm picking Sage and not 6 paths. And Mifune. Because that was my mistake last time. I do Naruto, Sage, and because, in terms of my nicknames, Kabuto Sage, Obito Sage, and Madara Sage are all like the... Oh, school. I'll do that. Are all like the, like, superpowered versions of themselves. That's why, just when I see Naruto Sage, my immediate thought is to go to a 6 paths version. But no, that's Na6 is my nickname for that. Lovely. Jubbly. Right, one more, and I reckon I've got him. And bam. Oh, come on. That's right. Lovely. Bam. And because the rumours for Ultimate Ninja Storm 5 are, I say they're rumours, but 50% of people say it's going to happen, 50% of people say it's not. It's literally just someone just making it up to get some hype. I would like to think that it is. My idea for the Ultimate Naruto game would be it would be like 300 hours to beat. It would be an open world similar to Ultimate Ninja 5 on the PS2. See, the Ultimate Ninja games on the PS2 I kind of hold as probably my favourite Naruto games. More so because I think the combat in that it's completely side scrolly. But you can like jump, like you can use the environments far more. You can jump up and down like foreground and background. And the ultimate jutsu thing I just love far more than this one. I just hold that as a good gold standard. And then also the open worlds on that one. I say it's open world-ish. But you can have like Sakura and Neji following around, but then they've all got like, they can actually, Neji can use the Byakugan to find nearby treasure chests and stuff, it's all that sort of thing. And Sakura and Naruto can actually destroy the environments. Similar to how is he just chilling, just using that over and over again? Similar to in Storm 1, how you could explore around the village and you could like, throw shuriken and use like Naruto's clones and throw your clones over there to get to like tall roofs of buildings and things like that. But yeah, and what it does is it's the entire, from Naruto 1 right down to the end of like to the end of it, from like Naruto episode 1 through all the way to before Boruto. In fact, you can even have Boruto as kind of like the post game. But like, and it's an openish world, and you can have like, you could choose who accompanies you, and then there'll be like fights that you can do. Because what they did in Ultimate Ninja 4 and 5 is when you're running around, there'll be like bandit ninja that will like run, like they'll chase you, and then if they hit you, then you'd be taken to a just like a little arena, and it would just be like kind of like free fights, I guess. You probably do that a little bit better. Maybe you actually attack them in the world. You don't actually have to go to a separate stage. It's just all there. But yeah, you do that. You find treasures. You can like unlock, because what you do is you'd find treasure chests with scrolls for like jutsu that characters can do, and then you can then customize your characters so they can use those as well. So you can have Kiba doing the Chidori and stuff, all of that sort of thing. You could have Ino doing rotation, 8 palms rotation. So all of that sort of thing. And yeah, and then it'll be like open world, you do missions, all of that sort of thing. It'll just be fabulous. And because it's starting from first Naruto right through to the end of Shippuden, it would be a very vast game. But all of the story beats are all story missions that you would do. You know, you'd be able to buy your customization items at the shops. You'd have heaps of different customization items because in Ultimate Ninja Revolutions, which was a 360 slash PS3 game, which was basically the crux of that was it's just a giant tournament held on an island. You can play as any, so you pick a character at the start from the huge roster, and then you just go through the entire tournament playing as just that character. So I mean, I don't know, I can't remember if there was a trophy for doing every single character, but yeah, but you do that, and then there was heaps of different customization items. You'd buy like, you know, flags to chuck on your back, or you buy little plush toys to chuck on your head, or all of those sorts of things. You can customize. You'd have something similar to that as well. Just all of that goodness, and it would just be a huge game. It would take like 200 hours to complete, which for someone like me, who does nothing but play games, that's fine. That's all goods. Don't mind in the slightest. Yes, you'd have that, so you got the open world, you'd explore around, you could play as different characters as well, so you're not just going around as Naruto. Yeah, you could use like their abilities to like destroy things in the environment to find other chests. You'd have like, yeah, bandits on the open world. You could like do like cool like movement tech, so throw your clones up to a ledge to grab something, or I know in Ultimate Ninja 4 you would hold down the right trigger and you would kind of do this weird like jumping hop, sort of shadow hop, which was how, I mean, it tripled, not tripled the time, but tripled your speed practically, and you can get to places like super quick. So you just spam that. Yeah, and then you can go travel to all the villages, walk around all the villages. You know, it'll just be great. It'll just be so good. And then, because you'd also need a way to manage the time skip, and to do that would be very simple. There would just be places in the world map that you couldn't go to. So, e.g., you wouldn't be able to get to Orochimaru's hideout via Tenchi Bridge because for whatever reason it will be closed. You can only go to the places, like you could go to probably like the Sand Village and the Mist Village, Great Naruto Bridge. You know, places would be unlocked as they become available in the story. And then so like Land of Waves, essentially, you wouldn't be able to get to before Shippuden, and you would the first time you'd go there would be for the Akatsuki arc, for the Rescue Gaara arc. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, and then as you go through, you can like unlock different characters. You can have like Tamari and Kankuro come with you. You could, you know, probably post game, you can then unlock the Kages to go around with you and stuff, and they've got super cool abilities and things. It'll just be fantastic. You know, and then you've got like little like hidden side quests. Obviously, you'll get your missions from. Let's do Matador. I haven't done a Matador before. And Onoki. Right, this will be the last fight. Yeah, you'll get your missions. You go to the Hokage Mansion, get your little C rank, D rank missions. But then you'd also find like hidden things around the world. There'll be like, you'd find like a little alcove in the Great Sand Desert. You'd find a little alcove with like a little shrine, and then it contains like a secret collectible item that you've got to deliver to someone, and you unlock a super cool ninja tool. Like a fire demon wind shuriken or something. Just like all of these different things, just, yeah. That would be like my ultimate Naruto game. And then also you could increase their stats. So similar to how definitely in actually no, in all of them actually, because I know in in Ultimate Ninja 3, like every character would have like an XP and it could level up to level 50, I think was like the last. Yeah, level 50 was the max, but then all their stats would increase over time. So like their chakra recharge rate, their strength, their base strength and defense would all increase as they leveled up. So then, you know, so probably whether it's like by per character you use, because then it just rewards you for using certain characters. Like I'm using Naruto all the time, so then because of that I can level him up, and then now I use him and he's super strong. And then in the oh my goodness, bruh, what is going on with this guy? He's just going mad. It's mental. Screw it. I'm not bothering with ultimate on that one. Yeah, so then in free battle, you could choose whether you do the statted up version of the character or not. Obviously, keeping in mind that the statted up version of the character is going to be like, what am I doing? Don't know why I just did that. The statted up version, you can win the fight in like 5 seconds. You know, but there is that option there. Yeah, and you just far more world stuff. Like I know it's a fighting game first and foremost, really, but like because they did so much with it in the PS2 games, I feel that they need to go back to that. I mean, they had shades of it in Storm 1. I say Storm 1 was probably the best in terms of the movement that you'd do and how you'd move around the world and what you could do. Storm 2 and Storm 3 are like the breadth of locations you could go to. But I still think that there's a lot that they could do still. Like what they did with Storm 4. I think Storm 4 is probably the best in terms of movement. Oh, actually, no, because the thing with 3 was you could like run up buildings and stuff. You could, you know, all you would do is you would only hang around the, you'd only be able to walk around the village, but you could like run up walls and all of that sort of thing, which you should be able to do. Right, got him. Okay. So I think I'll leave it there. Methinks. I managed to actually get like a decent way through, like 72 fights. Alright, so I'm just going to update the list. Be 2 seconds. Now we're down to 888. Fabulous. Alright. So, as I said, I'll leave it here. And day 21, hopefully next week will be normal streaming week. So day 21 will be on Thursday, day 22 on Sunday, and then Friday will be Stranger Paradise, and Saturday probably be most likely Final Fantasy 14. Just because I need to, because the Moogle Tomestone hunt's on, so I want to try and get some stuff from that. But yeah, so anyway, I'll leave it here. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you had a lovely morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.